So who's in the county jail now, please? What's your name?
Dawn Hunt.
Will be on the record in 2023 CR 231, State of Kansas versus Dawn Marie Hunt, County Attorney Jill Gillette for the state. Ms. Hunt, in person, in custody, and pro se. Ms. Hunt, you are charged in count one with, well, actually, this isn't your first appearance on this burglary and related cases. You failed to appear for first appearance February 20th of 2024, but you were back here. No, you weren't. You were supposed to be back here on February 27th for first appearance and you failed to appear. So here it is, your third first appearance. You're finally here, so we will go over your rights and charges.
Your Honor, I was incarcerated. That's why I couldn't do the Zoom meeting.
Where were you incarcerated?
And I was in Florida, Greenvard County or Greenvard Detention Center. Okay. The Border Patrol brought me there because of a fugitive warrant out of Missouri that was 4 years old. And then I guess then Greenwood had a warrant for me for not appearing.
Right.
But I did tell my husband to tell my attorney. I don't know what happened there, but you know.
Well, all I know is that you failed to appear twice. You're here now, so we are going to go over your charges. In count one, you are accused of burglary of a non-dwelling at 301 Main Street in Virgil, Kansas, as charged. This is a level 7 non-person felony, which means if you were to be convicted and depending on your criminal history, you'd have to serve 11 to 34 months in prison. In count 2, you're accused of burglary of 109 Randolph in Virgil. Since that is a residence, it is a level 7 person felony. Your sentence would be 11 to 34 months. Your fine would be up to 100,000, but it could make a difference at sentencing a person versus non-person. Count 3, you're accused of theft of property belonging to a Kelly Sage, and that is an A misdemeanor. If convicted, you could serve up to a year in the county jail and you could pay a fine up to $2,500. Because you have felonies involved, we will set this matter for preliminary hearing. And are you going to hire an attorney or apply for court appointed?
Your attorney, that case was dismissed a while back.
What case?
This burglary stuff.
No, it's in front of me right now.
But it was dismissed with prejudice or something like that. I don't know.
Where'd you hear that?
When they did the Zoom meeting. They did the Zoom meeting at jail when I was in Lyon County Jail, I believe. And Christopher Ambrose was my attorney. And
so when were you in the Lyon County Jail? You were telling me about Florida. When was Lyon County?
Well, Lyon County was because of the fugitive warrant from Missouri, is what that was
about. I thought you said you were picked up in Florida on the border by border.
Yes, I was. But I'm talking that happened beforehand. I mean, a while back. Lyon County was a while back. And then the Border Patrol got arrested me getting off the boat and brought me to Greenvard County Jail or detention center or whatever. And then Missouri, they expedited me from Florida to Missouri. And then when the judge OR'd me there, and then they told me that they couldn't let me go because then they had to take me from Missouri to Greenwood County Jail.
Are you telling me that whatever you had some kind of trouble in Lyon County, and in Lyon County they told you this charge
No, see, Lyon County was just, they brought me in because of the fugitive warrant in Missouri.
Now, that's not the
And
way it
see,
works. Miss Gillette?
huh? What?
This was the case where the property lines had to be gotten in a map. So the case was dismissed without prejudice, so to be refiled with the correct property
Oh, I'm
lines.
sorry, I didn't know. I know it's dismissed with something. I wasn't sure if it was with
Okay.
or without. I
Okay.
remember.
So
This-
these alleged crimes happened near the county line between Lyon and Greenwood.
No. There's a block, and part of it is a co-op and part of it's not. Part of it's another building. And so we had to go in and get a map of all of the properties to determine, because they use one mailing address for that whole like block.
But the properties weren't on the county line. That's not why both counties were involved.
No.
All right, well, at this point, I don't need to understand all that. All I know, Miss Hunt, is you're being accused in Greenwood County of the crimes I went over, and you've missed 2 court appearances. So at this time, do you need an attorney, or are you going to hire an attorney?
I have Christopher Ambrose as my attorney.
Was he appointed?
He was on he did the Greenwood case.
All right.
See,
well,
and that warrant that was in Missouri was 4 years old. That was just
Okay.
for
Well, Miss Hunt, you'll have to reapply to get him on this case. How long has it been since you worked?
I'm on disability, Your Honor.
Okay, what's your disability payment?
It's 900
Okay,
and something.
and so is that the only income you have?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, if Mr. Ambrose will take you again, I will reappoint him, but my assistant Missy will have to check and make sure he can fit that into his schedule. We'll set this for preliminary hearing control. Missy, what date are you using?
April 26th at 1:30.
And Your Honor, I had told my husband too to let Christopher Ambrose know that I wouldn't be able to make this court, appointment, so
Those
that I was
past
going to
ones?
miss it because they had me in the Florida jail. That I was going to.
Most judges I know do not excuse an absence because you're locked up somewhere else. Some might, but that's usually not an excuse for missing court. But I can't tell, without digging through the files, I can't tell you why a warrant was issued, but I think that's why. We need to put a hold on you to get you back here. But what's our bond set at, Deputy?
It is set at 20,000, Your Honor.
Ms. Gillette, well, let me ask you a few questions. Where do you live when you're not in jail?
I live at Strong City, Kansas,
Strong City, how long have you been in Strong City?
about 27 years.
What were you doing in Florida then?
See, my son for Christmas, he gave me and my husband a Christmas present, and he got us a cruise for
Okay.
7 days on
All right,
the
so-
Norwegian Escape cruise.
Okay, so you went on a cruise.
And then the last day when we were supposed to come home, the border patrol or whoever they were, they came to the room at like 5 a.m. when we were supposed to leave that day,
Okay,
and took me to the jail
because you had a warrant out of Missouri and out of Kansas.
out of Missouri. I didn't have a warrant in Kansas
Okay, so what led you to Missouri? Why were you in Missouri when you picked up those charges?
because the 4-year-old warrant that was in Missouri,
Why had you been in Missouri though? What's your connection to Missouri?
I was just visiting a friend of a friend's when I went out there
Okay.
that time, and it
Okay.
was for possession of controlled substance,
Okay,
personal use.
All right, so now you're back to Kansas. Miss Gillette, what do you think about that bond?
Judge, unfortunately for this defendant, she has convictions out of Illinois, Kansas, and Missouri. She's been in
Oh,
Florida,
nice.
has
Illinois.
yeah, she has convictions out of Illinois. Her case in Missouri is a 22 case, not a 2020 case. It's not 4 years old. It's not even 2 years old. And she had a warrant there when she was picked up. She's admitted going to Florida where she missed court here. And she called my offices to say she wasn't going to be here for court. And we told her, you miss court, you get a bench warrant. The judge does not have to excuse you or continue you. And she was warned on 2/7 if she doesn't show up on 2/20 that she could get a warrant. Then it was set over for a week. And
she could have appeared by Zoom even from Florida.
exactly. She still didn't show on 2/27. And so there was a second failure to appear. And she was held in Florida from 2/17 to 3/11 in Brevard, Florida, according to VineLink. She's also had an arrest on January 26th of 24 for Lee County, Florida.
Oh,
And she's been in and out and had all kinds of appearances from Missouri into court over in Missouri. And in Kansas, she's had cases from Topeka, Lyon County, Chase County, Greenwood County. So kind of a little bit all over the north part of the county down here to Greenwood, Emporia City. So she's
excuse me.
she's kind of
You'll
just
get
been
a chance.
over the place with her cases, and she has had warrant outstanding for a 2022 case that she didn't go back to Missouri to answer for and had to be extradited from Florida back to Missouri. So she doesn't
That was the one.
Let her
with
finish
the-
and then you'll get a chance.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Okay.
She
go
doesn't
ahead.
have a good track record of coming into court and getting things taken care of and of bouncing all over the place.
Well,
You,
seems to me, I'll give you a chance to speak. I told you I would. Please do.
okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Uh-huh. You're welcome. Go ahead.
See, I let Brad Douglas know. He's my probation officer in drug court. I completed in
Okay,
treatment
hold on. Which drug court? Where?
in Lyon County. I got 5 months before I graduate. I did in treatment. I graduated outpatient treatment at Corner House.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. Are you in drug treat or are you on drug court right now with Lyon County?
Yes, and I got permission to go on this trip. He gave me a travel permit to go and come, and I was going to finish. And when I got back, I was going to turn myself into Missouri and get that taken care of. But I didn't get a chance to do that because they just expedited me from there to Missouri. And then the judge was going to OR me from there, but then they said I had a Greenwood warrant. So they put it, I guess, as you did a warrant, right? I'm not sure, but
We did.
they expedited me from Missouri to here. And
When we are through with you, Lyon County wants you then apparently?
I don't have no charges. I'm just on drug court there, you know.
They haven't filed a motion to revoke you or anything?
No. Mm-mm. In fact, when they had arrested me on that same thing with Missouri, okay, it was the same deal. Excuse me. I stayed in jail for a little bit, and when I seen the judge OR'd me because it was hard to get a bondsman to bond me out on a fugitive warrant. That judge, the judge, he's the drug court judge, and he OR'd me on that, and
Okay.
that was done. And
And
then,
you've mentioned your husband, he lives there in Strong City too?
yes, ma'am, he
Does
does.
he have a job?
No, he's on disability too.
All right. Well, I think 20,000, with all you have going on and these charges is minimal. I think I could easily double it to assure that you'll be back, but
Your
uh,
Honor, I will be back. I promise I'll be back.
well, I certainly hope so. Because if you fail to appear again a third time, there's a probability that you won't be bonding until you see the judge again. But at this point, I am going to maintain your $20,000 bond.
Judge, she was extradited from Lyon County to Missouri in December before being extradited back to Missouri in
No,
March.
no, no, your ma'am, no, ma'am.
Miss Gillette, or I'm sorry, Miss Hunt, just a minute. Okay, you have records that say what, Miss Gillette?
Judge, Lyon County 2023 MR 300034 is an extradition case from Lyon County back to Cass County, Missouri. She's had more than one extradition to Missouri for not taking care of that case. So I'm with you. The 20,000 cash surety needs to stand, and she needs to get all of her cases wrapped up in all of the different places that she has pending charges.
So your bond is 20,000 cash or surety. Your attorney is Christopher Ambrose. And your preliminary hearing control is April 26th at 1:30. We'll be in recess at this time, and you are remanded to the custody of the sheriff until you're able to make that bond. You may go, Miss Hunt.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
This case is a perfect example of how quickly things can spiral when someone fails to take court appearances seriously. State of Kansas versus Don Marie Hunt shows a defendant who didn't just miss one hearing, but multiple, and tried to explain it with a complicated story involving arrests across different states. While she claimed she was incarcerated in Florida and dealing with an old warrant from Missouri, the court made one thing clear: missing court is still missing court, no matter the reason. What really hurt her case wasn't just the missed appearances, it was the pattern. The prosecution laid out a history of charges and arrests across multiple states, including Kansas, Missouri, Illinois, and even Florida. That kind of record makes it very hard for any judge to trust that a defendant will show up next time. And in the courtroom, credibility is everything. Once that trust is gone, every explanation starts to sound weaker, no matter how real it might be. Another key moment came when the defendant insisted that her case had already been dismissed. But the judge quickly clarified that it had only been dismissed without prejudice, which means it can be filed again. That misunderstanding alone shows how important it is to truly understand your legal situation, not just rely on what you think you heard. In court, small details like that can make a huge difference. By the end, the judge decided to keep the bond at $20,000, making it clear that this was actually a lenient decision given her history. The message was simple. The court needs assurance that she will return, and right now, her track record doesn't provide that confidence. In the end, this case isn't just about burglary charges. It's about accountability. When you ignore court dates, misunderstand legal rulings, and move between jurisdictions without resolving your cases, the system catches up to you. And when it does, the consequences are very real.